Look at that. So we got through the intro without any problems. I'm hoping we're all online. Give us a shout out. Don't forget to jump on and put your postcodes in. Postcodes will go through. We've got 3 shirts to choose from this week. There is this is one of my favourite shirts that I've ever collected. It's a Cod Nationals shirt, so you can only get them if you fish the Cod Nationals. So that's the Aussie Colours Cod Nationals shirt. You can choose that one, or you can choose this one, Garmin Shimano shirt, which is a long sleeve, or a Corey's Dam fishing shirt. So you get to choose which shirt you want, but that's just from putting your postcode in. So make sure you whack your postcode in. We've got heaps of people on already. Elon James, fishing. Oh, look, he's got his Facebook page up and running. That's also g'day, Johnny. G'day, Salty. How are you, Nick? So, yes, plenty of people on. So, Harry's Wheel later on, which will give away some more prizes on Harry's Wheel. But we, as you might have seen on my Facebook, I did put a post out earlier on. We have got, probably Harry reckons he looks like Jesus Christ. You can put it in the comments what you think my guest tonight looks like. But Keaghan, this is going to be a fun show tonight. I've been looking forward to this one since I contacted Keaghan during the week because he's a bit of a talker, so I won't have to say too much tonight, hopefully, and Keaghan can get out there and, tell us a bit about. We've got Cania ABT coming up, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about, for the guys that are interested or do have any questions, Keegan's a bit of a gun on the YouTube side of things, put some really good quality videos out. So you got some YouTube questions, we'll cover them. And we are going to talk about dreams of going into the US. I mean, Keaghan has been, before COVID, had plans of going over to the US and giving it a bit of a crack, so we can talk about that. That we've already got one coming in. They reckon he looks a bit like a smaller Fabio, the most beautiful man in the cosmos. So that's pretty cool. Scotty, that's awesome that you got your shirt and cap. I will let Harry know. So keep those questions coming in. But I want to get him on. We have got another entry into the Duff Rods competition as well. This one's quite cool because it's not really a casting challenge. It's more like a casting fail. So Kyle sent that through to me last week, and we will get that through later on in the show. So, yes, another entry into the Duff Rods competition. All you have to do is send in a casting video, and we'll put it up, and you'll go into the draw for a $500 custom rod. Excuse me. I might have to go and get tested. Oh, you're frightened to cough these days, cough, fart. All right, we've got heaps of people on, heaps in there. We're all up and running. G'day, Jordan. G'day, Leith. Looks like I'm going to be fishing the Masters with you in a couple of weeks' time too. So for people that aren't aware, what's the dates? I'll just bring this up, and if I can do this right, we've got the Masters on the 16th through to the 19th. That's at Lake Eildon. That's the Lake Eildon Cod Masters run by Central Victorian Lure Casters. So if you are around this area or around the Victorian area and want to get to a really good comp, get on their Facebook page. There's still entries to go in that one. Huge prize money up for grabs. These cod comps are going hell for leather with the prize money. So I'm really looking forward to fishing that one as well. So I'll get all this back up. So don't forget, that's coming up. Get yourself on. They've got a group that you have to enter, or you can look it up through Facebook and find out the prize money and stuff like that. So it's going to be really cool. Let's get the man on himself, and then you can start calling him whatever names you want, because he has got quite a good sense of humour. So pick on him as much as you want. G'day, Brett. All right, mate. I've been hanging it on you in the preview there. So Harry reckons you look like Jesus. I reckon you're the love child of what was probably a late 70s show. I had the post up on Facebook today. But, yeah, you get called all of it, but, it's the look.
I get called all of it, and I'll take all of it. I mean, at the end of the day, people need to grow more beards, I think. And there's
look, yeah. Yeah, if your father hasn't got a beard, he's your mother. That's what I always say.
That's correct. And Timmy Stenhouse doesn't have a beard, and he is a really good mum to me. So,
look, mate, for the guys and girls that are out there watching the show, we I've 100 odd episodes I've nearly got to now, and this is your first visit on the show. But tell the people out there a little bit about yourself.
I love fishing, like everyone on here, pretty much. That's all I do. I mean, my dad and his family, they're all sort of sunny coast, so I kind of grew up between Brisbane and the beach. Just one of those naked little babies on the beach. But just for as young as I can remember, I just wanted to fish. I didn't care if it was rain, hail, storm, whatever. I just wanted to fish. And that's all I do now. If I'm not fishing, I'm editing for YouTube for my fishing, or I'm literally watching fishing like Bassmaster, or I'm watching Brendan Polinick or Scott Martin or Jacob Wheeler or someone. That's all I do.
Yep. So you're a fishing tragic, basically, and that's what I love catching up with you at the comps, because for one, you're not one of those guys that's stuck up. Everyone seems to, gravitate towards the good guys, and you've always got a crowd of people around. You're always entertaining everyone. You love taking the mickey out of yourself as much as anyone that I know. Hence why, I had no problems looking at picking on how your hair was or how your beard was tonight. You kind of, you roll with the punches, don't you?
I mean, I think you have to. It's I think in sport in general, but I know the fishing thing, a lot of people can get a little bit too caught up in it. So, but like anything, if you can't laugh at yourself, then like, what is there to laugh at?
We got a great comment in here. I'm just reading some of the funny ones. Where is it? David Oliver's put on here. There's not much point in wearing a shirt with advertising on the chest with a beard like that.
Well, I know. It's like, it's under there. If I part it like that, it should be okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. All right. So we'll get into Cania straight up. That's the first event off. We've got plenty of time. We've got an hour to talk about, anything Chewin the Fat. But we've got Cania coming up. It's in 2.5, 3 weeks' time. The water levels at Cania have dropped massively. It seems to be that area where you've not had a lot of water or a lot of rain, even though Queensland's been getting a bit of rain. How do you think it's going to fish?
I'm actually really interested also to the answer of that question, actually. Like you said, it's been dropping. I looked today, actually, and over the last month, it's dropped about 2%. So for it to drop a couple percent in a month is a lot. And we've had a lot of rain, but it hasn't fallen in a handful of our catchments. Like Wivenhoe has got none. Boondooma might have had a tiny little top up, but Cania from last year had really not much has changed. So I think with these different conditions, and I've been talking to the old man about it too, like things are changing. These lakes are not fishing how they used to, like just because the fish are supposed to be here doesn't mean that they are. And I think it's whatever one of the Ninas we're coming into, the wet one instead of the dry one, I think that's playing a massive part on what these fish are doing, especially with the temperatures too. Like it's hot and then it's cold and hot and cold. So you got all this going into it. The fish should be up shallow at Cania. Like I'm looking forward to hopefully a jerkbait bite and stuff like that. And the pink blade, which will definitely be getting a fair old run. It's won me a lot of money. Like, it's great. But in saying that, I'll be trying to look for weed. And with the dropping dam levels, that weed is one of the first things that seems to die off because it just, that water's just running out too quickly for that weed to properly flourish. So, yeah, it'll be interesting.
And Cania's a dam that, look, it's probably my favourite dam to fish or lake or whatever you want to call it, pond. Outside of a river system, the Cania fish have always been a really powerful brute of a fish that are reasonably hard to stop. I mean, for the last 3 years before I left Queensland, if you weren't throwing 20 and 20, you were getting busted off. But going back, they were always really, for some reason, really strong, fit fish. And we sort of put it down to they didn't have bony brim in Cania for a long period of time. And then somehow they got in there and the food source changed. So when they have that massive amount of bony brim to eat, like a Somerset or a BP or whatnot, they can just school them up and just gorge on them, where before they had to search for their feed. So I don't know if the fishing's going to be, that spoon sort of plastic bite in that deeper water, or as you said, whether they're going to be up on the edge and you're going to be throwing, jerk baits, blades, and footy jigs.
Yeah, that's the one thing you don't know. Like, just because they should be transitioning, closer to the creek beds and stuff like that, and early in the morning when it's nice and cool, they should be up on the edges. But like you said, the addition to bony brim and a lot of these dams changes, and Somerset's a massive one. But so was Boondoomer and stuff like that. Like, these dams don't fish like they used to 10 plus years ago, or even 5 years ago. They're just continually changing, and these fish's eating patterns they're so erratic. And I found over the last year or two, they've been really erratic, and you really need to properly key in on exactly what they're eating. Otherwise, that could be the difference between doing really well and really bad. And I've found myself on the really bad end since Wivenhoe last year, but hopefully Cania's always been nice to me. So I'm hoping it's going to continue that run.
Yeah, look, I think I'm reading comments, so I'm trying to laugh at the same time I'm actually talking to you. But I think with, like anything, the reason that Cania are always really, really good comps is because it is so far away from everyone still, being that it's way out west, that a lot of guys don't get to go and pre-fish it. So you've got to work that pattern out on day one, don't you?
Yeah, and that's why, the guys that are really serious about it, there's probably, that group of guys that are really serious but can't get the time off to go and pre-fish. But the guys that are really serious will go out 2 weeks before. We got a pre-fish ban that kicks in 2 weeks before the comp. So the guys that are serious and can get up there usually spend 2, 3, 1 day even, but at least it gives us an idea before the comp of what we can try and put a plan together. And then you go out and do that on the official pre-fish day and hope to God that not much has changed, but it changes. It
does. But it is also a waterway too that you can be sitting like Tim did last year in the Open, wasn't it? So he was sitting in an area where he was catching big fish, but there was a guy 50 meters away fishing the same fish, same lure, and only catching small fish. So
that was me. I was that guy. I was watching him all day.
And that's the dam that Cania can be like,
Yeah. Cania is good. It is the best of both worlds. Like, you can fish super shallow or you can fish out deep. And there's only probably a handful of dams that I know of that actually have a really, really good edge bite and a really, really good deep bite, because usually it's one or the other.
Yeah.
But Cania's both. So literally it could be anyone's game. You just got to work out where those good ones are holding.
And that's definitely why I love Cania, because it was funny. The first ABT I was open that they held was at Cania. And we had, there was about 8 of us. We were all spot locked on a point up this sort of, and there was like Killer, there was myself, Mick Johnson, there was Sean Falkenhagen, there was, a couple other guys, and we're all sort of 100 meters in between each of us. And it worked out that the first guy, like Killer, would catch a fish. Then he'd yell out, he goes, I got one. And by the time he'd landed his fish, the next boat would catch one, and the next boat would catch one. And the next boat, it was like they were swimming up and down this bank all day, and we just kept going, Yep, you're on. Just wait my turn, and then I'd get it. And it was like they were just swimming up and down that bank all day.
Well, I've done the same sort of thing at Glenbourne, actually. I think it was me, Mal Draper, and Grant Clements. There was the tree line that we were fishing is high and dry now, but there was an underwater tree line near a creek bed, and they would always, same sort of thing, exactly that. They'd go back and forth. So we'd just yell out, like, you still got them? Yeah, right. All right, good. Because if you couldn't see them, but they could, you knew it was only a matter of time before they
come back.
All right, yeah.
So we've got, I'm going to flick through a couple of questions quickly. Nick Bruni, this must be an inside one, wants to know, tell us about the Sinclair drone incident.
I'm still blaming Adrian Melchior, actually. I think he was the instigator of it. But there was an incident at St. Clair. Well, when was it, boys? Must have been 2018, actually. There was a fine older gentleman that really didn't enjoy the use of drones, and things got a little bit heated, and there was some higher than PG words spoken. And everyone thought it was fantastic.
So was this during a comp or a pre-fish day?
No, it was comp time, but I had the drone out. It must have been pre-fish afternoon.
Yep.
I was just getting B-roll of the sunset. I had no idea where this guy was, but he must have thought that we were spying on him.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, bro, but I was just looking at the sunset, hey?
Everyone's yeah, well, we'll just leave that one alone. We might drop names later on. Jordan wants to know, he reckons, how are you going to dam dropping no weed? How will you go without your ZX techniques?
Yeah, might be in trouble, eh?
Might be in trouble.
I'll make it work. I've made it work out deep before. It just seems to work much better in shallow.
Well, you know, it's going to be pretty shallow at that sort of depth, even in the deep. Johnny wants to know your number one beard care tip because he can't get his looking as luscious as yours.
Talk to it in the mirror every day and tell it looks beautiful. And that's it goes a long way.
Just keep talking to it.
All right.
Rightio. So just going back through, don't forget, best question of the night does go through to go into Harry's wheel and spin the wheel for later on. There's heaps of prizes on that. Keep your postcodes coming in for the shirts. You get to choose which shirt you want. But I do want to talk Rodeo. So we've kind of covered Cania, and we'll if any more questions come up for Cania, we will talk about them. But I want to hit you. You're fairly prominent in the YouTube stuff, and a lot of guys even comments in the comments are saying they're loving your videos. You know, it's very hard these days to continue. Like, we try and put content out. I'm one that's trying to put content out on YouTube as much as what I can. And really all you're asking in that given space is for a like or a follow or a subscribe type of situation, just to keep your numbers up so you can continue to do it, because it's all, you know, about cost. If you can get a few sponsors through being, you know, popular, well, that's all great. But it just seems really hard to get people to just actually hit that subscribe button, doesn't it?
Yeah. People are lazy. And like, I'm lazy, like I still do it. But I think, you know, it doesn't matter about the likes as such. It's not a social media platform like Facebook or Instagram that, well, I mean, even they're not really like driven much anymore since they took the likes away and made them hidden. But the subscribe for YouTube is everything. You know, that subscribe is going to hopefully what tries to make you money, which is why every YouTuber will harp on about clicking that subscribe button, because that's the numbers that count. And it's literally like, you don't need to pay. I get questions all the time like, oh, does it cost anything? Like, no, you just sign up. You put your email in your name. So you got a YouTube profile and you just click subscribe.
Yeah.
It's literally easy. That's all it is.
And it helps. The numbers all help. It's all got to do with algorithms and everything else. But in the grand scheme of things, the more subscribers you have on your YouTube channel, the more chance you've got of putting more content out for people to watch.
Correct. And that's the other thing I try and say. Like, the more subscribers that I can get, if I can start making better money, like good money on YouTube, then that means I can work less and fish more, which means more videos out. And it's a win-win. It's
a win-win for everyone. We all want to be out there fishing more. And you know, if you're the one doing it, and you've been doing it for a while now, if you're the one doing it, if you don't know, what's your account?
So Keaghan Painter Fishing, Keeghan, because old Bomber over here spelt it Keaghan. So
I'm dyslexic. It's all good. As a Greg Rigby wants to know, as a nonny, what would you suggest as top 3 lures he should take up to Cania? Because obviously there's no tackle shop up there for the poor nonnies. They've got to go up.
I did see there was a similar question as well from, is it Elion?
Elion, yep.
He asked kind of the same sort of question as what 3 lures? Honestly, a pink ZX blade's probably number 1. That's probably not a surprise. Definitely a spoon. So my go-to usually is either a wasabi or a twisty. A spoon of any sort around that 20 gram mark is really, really good. And probably a jerkbait. I think those, you can cover the shallow, you can cover vertical, you can cover deep. That's probably the 3 would get you out of trouble, I think.
Yep. I would be not too far away from that in my suggestions too, Greg. Definitely a spoon. But when I throw spoons, it's nearly always a Halco twisty and a 20 gram, and that's about all I've ever thrown. Yeah, I've got a million different spoons in, but that's my go-to lure. I would have at least half ounce, maybe even a 5/8, a lot of heavier jig heads. With John Deere sliders, for sure. I would be tying on to throw there if you're throwing the deep water. And I would go old school for your shallow. So I would be throwing TN60s in the brown dog.
The TN's going to run.
Yeah, TN60s at Cania for sure, and especially in the brown dog. So there you go. Elion wants to know, what editing program do you use?
I actually just use iMovie on my Mac.
Yep.
Like, really simple. And I literally started the filming, editing thing, having an idea of what I wanted to do from the guys that I watch, but not really having an idea of what I am doing. So I've sort of just worked it out. But I would like to try and probably move to something that I can't think of right now. But it's better. It's better. But right now,
you can get, especially, I know Alion's a young fella, so don't get caught up in paying too much for any subscriptions of any sort. As you said, start off with your basic programs to start with. Try a couple of free trials and then work your way from there, because a lot of people do waste money on it.
Yeah, I don't know if you got a Mac, bro, or if you've got a Microsoft or whatever, but Mac with iMovie is so easy. And if you do have a Mac, iMovie is great. Like, all of my stuff is iMovie and it comes out really good. Well, I think it does anyway.
No, it does. And that's what I mean. A lot of people are overdoing it. And this is for any beginners that want to do filming on the water. 1080p is as high as you ever want to go. This, having to record in all this 4K and 2.7K, it doesn't work, and then it makes it harder to edit anyway. That's one of the biggest mistakes I made from start, trying to film it in really, really high resolution. So, just you crank your GoPro or your Garmin or whatever you're using back to around that 1080p or even lower. With my camera that I run on the pole on the back of the boat, it runs at 720p, 60 frames a second all day. It's plugged into permanent power, and I can get 11 hours footage out of that one camera, and it's still good enough to edit into YouTube and Facebook videos for sure.
It's great. You don't need to spend $1 million to get good footage or put good stuff together. Like, it's not like that.
No, that's it. Shane Melrose, who runs the Central Victorian Lure Casters comps, he's giving you the open invite to the Bass round at Blue Rock in November.
Could we see an appearance at Central Vic Lure Casters? But no.
No. But he said later on in comments he'll even shout your beer, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, it could be worth it. Take a lot of beers to get me down to Victoria, I think.
That's it. So Leith wants to know what's your number one secret to turn on shut down fish. So with you, it'll be bass.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest secret that I don't really know if anyone has the right or wrong answer for. Hey, because bass, they really can be a prick of a fish when they want to be. You can have a screen full of fish, but I think it's more just cycling through bits and pieces, especially with the technology that's out there at the moment, like live scope. I was on Johnny Ciancio's boat. We went to Lake Mark on the weekend. That was the first time I've properly used live scope, and being able to see what those fish are reacting to in real time rather than only knowing if they touch it or not. That's a game changer. If you can see them follow it or not follow it. But yeah, just cycling through lures and seeing what works. And then it's always the biggest question of whether you want to stay on those shut down fish and wait for them to have that bite window. Could be a 5-minute bite window, could be a half an hour bite window, or none. But that's always like, do you leave fish to find fish? That's the biggest secret. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer.
All right, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here. I'm going to tell Leith my biggest secret when it comes to shut down fish. Even with live scope technology, most people slow down. With shut down fish, you want to make them react. They're not going when they're sluggish and everything else. They're not going to react. So speed it up, retrieve faster. It's the total opposite of what you've always been taught. You've always been told, slow it down, keep it in their face. Yeah, what you want to do is speed that shit up, and if you're throwing something off the bottom, crank it out of their face as quickly as make them react, because they just have to.
Yeah, that's it. You cycle through. You just keep on going and going and going until something happens, and you go, all right, that was something, and then you work off that.
Neil, here's a big call. Neil wants to know, what weight would you need to be in a chance with winning at Cania? Well, this is a hard one because of the water levels. I don't know, and I haven't fished there for 3 years, but moving down to Victoria, I'm not 100% sure whether they'll be quality fish or they're going to be those long, skinny, gaunt ones.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll know after this weekend, because last year the weights were quite down because of the dropping water levels. The food source became a little bit more scarce. The fish were not as chunky as what they were. Like 2019, if this was 2018, if this was 2018, I would have said you'd probably need 6 to 7 kilos, a bag of 5 to be up there. But I reckon it's going to be down. Probably close to last year at the Open, I think. So, yeah. But they could be big, but I don't think they're going to be huge and chunky, not with the water acting how it is.
Yeah, there's, a lot of people, I've been trying to get information. Obviously, traveling from Victoria, and I've got a fair bit on down here, and it's going to be, a fair bit of time off work to get up there. I've been tossing and turning whether it's Somerset or Cania, which one I'm going to get to, and throwing it all up. And I've been sending the feelers out to all the boys and saying, "Hey, boys, what's Cania fishing like?" Nobody's telling me jack shit. Like even the guys.
Stoddard will know how Cania's fishing. He loves Cania.
Yeah, and they won't say anything. They're just sitting there going, "Oh, it's probably not worth you driving up, or it is worth you driving up." I'm like, I don't want to know what. I just want to know, are the fish healthy and are they biting?
I don't think I've ever been to Cania, or maybe one tournament, but I don't know. Even when I've been to Cania, when it's fishing tough, it's still fun. It's not like when Somerset fishes tough and you sort of get a little bit suicidal and contemplate what you're doing.
Oh, catching toga too as a bycatch is always like everyone used to caught a toga, and they'd be swearing carrying on. I'm like, caught a toga.
Yeah, there's heaps up there.
Yeah.
Matthew Flynn wouldn't have a clue what Cania toga looked like, but he did give it a red hot crack.
All right. Tracy, yeah, here's a G up. Tracy wants to know what Keegan's thoughts are on Joe Danaher coming to the Lions. You can have him as far as I'm concerned.
Best thing.
Chris Rawlings wants to know what cameras do you run?
So the camera that I use is actually right here. So that's just a Canon EOS 200D with like an external mic. So that's sort of full of all of my main filming. And then on the boat, I actually just run. So it's a GoPro Hero 5 Black. Actually, it's an oldie, but it's still kicking along.
Yep.
I want to get another one so I can run one sort of front and back and get the people behind me as well, but they're expensive.
Yes. Well, hence why we need the subscribes and shares and whatnot. Now you've got a program out on your socials at the moment. You're giving away some stuff, which is to promote your stuff. What have you got going?
So at Tackle Tactics, we are platypus fishing lines as well. So we released a new platypus braid. It's called Platypus Pulse. We actually released it, must have been last month, or about a month and a half ago. And I've been testing this line since Cania at the Oz Open last year. We've been working through a few little hiccups and stuff, but it's really, really good line. So to celebrate the release of the Platypus Pulse, I've got, and it's on my YouTube too. So the link that is in the bio on my Instagram, Keaghan Painter Fishing, up the top, there's a link. That's the video. All you guys need to do is copy and paste that onto your Facebook and tag me in it so I know you've done it. Subscribe to my channel and you can go into the draw to win what I've got here. So we've got some Platypus Pulse in the 4-strand. So I run the 4 carrier on my bait casters. It just, if your bird's nest, it doesn't dig in as bad. So that's in the 15-pound. Then we've got the 8 carrier in the Platypus Pulse as well. That's in a 10-pound. The Bionic. People that fish offshore and some big boy fishing will know what Bionic braid is. It's not anything super fancy. It's not the thinnest line ever, but it's really strong. And it's in a 9 carrier. So it always used to be an 8. We've improved it to a 9 carrier. So it is a bit thinner. It's more sleek. That is going in there too. That's a 20-pound. And then we got some leader. So Platypus Stealth is our leader that we use, or the one that I use. Fluorocarbon leader. So I'm going to throw 2 of those in. There's a 15-pound and an 8-pound. That's, oh my God, I'm throwing stuff everywhere. That's for you guys as well. And then Platypus hat. I actually really like this hat. It's pretty sweet. And then a couple of sticker packs for you. We got a Z-Man one, TT, and obviously your Platypus too. So there's a couple $100 worth of gear there. So it's well worth it. All you need to do, copy and paste the link from my Instagram bio, which is the video for my YouTube. Tag me in it and subscribe to my channel. Like, easy.
That's easy. That's quite easy, and that's a massive amount of line for anyone that is looking at re-spooling. That's the full gig.
Yeah, it'll get you out of trouble. And I mean, don't take my word for it. Go and try. Like, it's taken me a lot to get off Sunline. I use Sunline leader, Sunline braid, and I've had the questions before. Are you just promoting Platypus because you're sponsored? Like, no, I will never endorse anything that I don't like. I can't do it. If I'm not going to use it or I don't like it, I will never endorse it. So for me to be talking a lot about the Platypus braid, like it's good. It is good.
I think that as an industry too, we've got better at that. I mean, back when I first started tournament fishing, it was all just drop a name and try and get a sponsorship. Now it's really, I mean, you'll hear guys and the honest guys, and you can work them out just by listening to the after comp show or whatever it is, and they sit there and they go, oh look, I caught it on a yes, thank you, Harry. I caught it on a lipless crankbait. And you know that they're not sponsored by Jackal, but they were using a Jackal or whatnot. And you know that they're not just pumping a product because, oh, yeah, no, I caught it on this or I caught it on that. They'll use a jerk bait or they'll use it, but, it was an atomic one. It wasn't a, but they don't lie anymore. It seems that everyone is 100% honest with, if I'm using it, like I use the bone rods and everyone goes, oh, but, that rod's a 4-piece rod. Why would you use it? And I said, until you've used it, I can't explain it to you.
Yeah.
There's no lying anymore in the sense. Look at that. I've just had a delivery.
I know, that's good. Harry, if you look like Dickie Nee came in and just got a drink then.
Yeah. I might, because he's too young to understand who Dickie Nee is, we always said he should do a little Dickie Nee thing in front of the stage. So I've got another question here. Bo what's his question? He said, how many videos would you put out in a week to keep your subscribers interested and keep your name coming up within the YouTube to grow your YouTube channel?
That's a good question. That's a big one. So before I got into YouTube, I didn't realize the amount of workload. And I know that you and me have spoken about this, Corey, before. The workload that is YouTube is monstrous, really, with the editing. For me, for my big tournament videos, it will be a full day or 2 days of editing just to put that one half-an-hour video together. And for me, it's that constant feed and that constant being in your face for YouTube is what helps keep the subscribers getting and growing. It's not like Facebook or Instagram where you can maybe post once a week and sort of still be working. Like, if you do that on YouTube, it's not going to get you as better traction. You really need to be like, and that's like through COVID, I was trying to get those 3 videos up a week. And my entire life was filming and editing until 12 o'clock at night. So I've had to drop back a little bit, but more than once is the ideal thing, really.
And it is so hard to do. Like, it is so time consuming within constraints of everything you do, because the editing is a huge, it's not as if we've all got, it'd be great if we could all chip in, $50 each a week and send it on and have this one editor to do all our videos for us.
Well, that's like the American guy. You watch Brendan Polnick, Scott Martin and stuff, like they can smash out video after video after video because they're just fishing. They've got a full-time cameraman who is filming them and editing. Whereas for someone like me, I'm trying to get all the B-roll myself, all the cool little bits and pieces. If you don't know what B-roll is, it's sort of like the shots of trees and shots of water and drone shots with the music sequences and stuff. Like, I will get hours of B-roll to get like 10 minutes out of it, if that.
Yep, for sure.
To do that, and then it's just a lot of work, but I love it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too. So,
look, I do. I watch all your stuff. I love it. So, but that's I had a long time to think over COVID and whatnot, and I'm mildly computer dyslexic when it comes to learning how to run a computer. Just getting this show up each week, and I nearly have a heart attack. I'm at that age where I'm not as good at it as some of the younger guys coming through either. But I thought about it over COVID, and this show was started as shits and giggles, but as and everyone goes, oh, you do a live show, it must be hard. I'm like, no, the live show is the easy thing. Yes, we have problems with audio, and yes, we have camera problems, and it's really hard to get guests on a live show. But take that aside, I'm not editing for hours. I'm clicking a button, I'm starting the show, and in an hour's time, I'm turning it off. The show runs itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
That keeps my content up. So, listen, Harry sent me through the postcode winner. So hopefully they're still on and they can pick their prize. So I hope I've got this right. It is Damien Scholten. Now that's, how do we spell that? It's Scholten, Scholten, 3741. So, Damien, if you can send me a personal message or let me know that you're still on with your address and which shirt you want. So there's a Corey's Dam fishing shirt or a Garmin Shimano shirt or a limited edition COD National shirt. You get to choose which one. So, Damien, if you're on, you send us through a message. I'm going to go find another question here. Warren wants to know, with the lower water levels, will you be targeting timber, shallow or deep schooling fish?
Shallow.
Shallow.
I am a shallow water guy. I always, well, not always, but I like fishing shallow. I love fishing shallow. A lot of my techniques are shallow water techniques, which is sort of weird being from Queensland because I think we're all born to bred in like 40 feet of water. But like shallow, I think really. If I have to go deep, I'll go deep and I'll explore everything, but I'm really betting on the shallow bite being where the big girls are.
You'll have to come down and fish cod one day with me and find out what actually shallow means, because I got really confused when I first moved back to Victoria and started fishing cod. And they're saying, oh, you fish shallow. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in 10 feet of water. And I'm no, shallow. And I'm like, what do you mean shallow? What's shallower than 10 foot? And they're like, 1 foot.
Yeah, my shallow is 2 to 4 feet.
Yeah.
if it looks too shallow, you probably need to go a little bit shallower again, and that's where you want to fish.
That's it. Elion wants to know scent or no scent?
Scent. I'll always use scent, unless I'm lazy. I don't know how much of a massive, massive difference it makes, but I think it's more just me. Jig fishing's different. You want to get that scent and that taste in their mouth to keep it in their mouth longer so you can get that hook set, but I'll always go scent. Always. There
you go. Luke Atkinson, yeah, I got that right. What would be advice for somebody wanting to start fishing at Bass Pro events?
Good question. Just do it. Just do it. Go nuts. Listen. You know, like me and Corey were talking actually before the show, just before. We both wished we sort of both got into this a little bit sooner than what we did with all the tournament sort of thing and whatnot. But for me, there was probably about 3 years where I was too scared to just enter because it's a lot. You know, you're watching guys like Chris Hickson and stuff like that, and you're like, you want to meet him, but you're intimidated because you're like, I don't know if I'm good enough to be doing it. It doesn't matter if you're good enough or not. You just go and you learn and you just dive headfirst in, and everyone's pretty friendly. Like, the advice is just do it.
Yeah, for sure. 100% Nike. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
And don't worry about what gear you've got or what anything else. Just go out there and do it, because you will learn and you'll pick stuff up and you'll get better as you go. Don't leave it too late. As we were talking before the show, I wish I had found tournament fishing when I was in my late 20s rather than in my late 30s. Yeah. Wrong time zone for me.
Were you in colour back then, or?
Yeah. Jesus was playing fullback for the Arabs in sandals.
I remember that. Yeah.
Timmy's. What else have we got? Here's a good one for you. This is a YouTube question. Elion, who asks a lot of questions every week, he's got some good ones this week. Wants to know where do you get your music for your videos? It's very hard to find royalty-free music.
I was going to bring that question up too, because I did see that. While we're on the topic of that YouTube thing, I saw that. So I subscribe. It's a fair chunk of money. So unless you're really into the YouTube thing, I wouldn't do that. I get all of my royalty-free music from a program called Artlist. But it's literally like $200 or $300 a year, which is your licensing rights to use all of the music on there. And if you're a serious YouTuber, Artlist is amazing. Like, it has everything. And I know that that's what Brendan Polinick, Scott Martin's editors, they use probably that, because I've come across some of the same music before. But otherwise, if you want free music, like free, just go to YouTube, man, type in royalty-free music, and there's so much stuff that comes up. I used to use it for my first YouTube stuff. All you need to do is you read the description. So you're able to use that music as long as you copy and paste. There's a bit in their description that they give you, and it's basically just their tags and whatnot of where to find them as an artist. As long as you do that legally, you can use that music, and it's for free. Like, just type in YouTube royalty-free music.
There you go. And if you know how to do a tag or spell people's names right, you'll be all right.
Not him.
Excellent. All right. So, listen, I've got as I said, the Duff Rods competition. It's a $500 custom rod that Duffy has donated to, that we're going to draw in the end when we've got enough entries. We were only going to run it for 8 weeks. We're going to extend that out because, he's put up a massive prize. It's a custom-made fishing rod. You can choose bass, barra, yellows, cod, whatever you want. But we're just going to have to keep plugging it to give him his dues for his money that he's donated. This is the entry. So I'm just going to put you in the green room. If you need to go and have a leak or go and get another drink, Keeg, go and do that. I'll put you in the green room while I play this video.
Right.
All right. Now, where have we got? So, Damien, yes, you're on. So to Corey's Dam Fishing Facebook page, send your address. Tell me which one of the 3 shirts you want, and I will send that out to you this week. So this entry for the Duff Rods competition, as I said, it's not so much a casting challenge, but more a casting fail. Sent in to me last week by Kyle. So I'm going to just play this video for you on full screen. It only goes for a couple of seconds. It was sort of it's quite funny. So it is an entry. So this is how easy it is. So that's how hard it is. That was just the GoPro on the back. Caught him actually losing the rod over the side of the boat, but got to save it. He had to take the we had to take the audio out of it. You can imagine what was going on when the rod went over the side of the boat. So it wasn't a cheap rod and reel combo. So glad they got that one back. Yes, Damien, send that all those details through. So we've got about 12 minutes to go to get your questions through. I'll keep talking with Keegs here about everything we can, but I do have to do the Harry's wheel before sort of 9 o'clock so he can go to bed. He's out there waiting to go on. So I'll bring Keegan back and we'll just have a quick chat before we finish off with Harry's wheel. So, first time on Chewin the Fat, how have we gone?
Good. Enjoyed it. Actually. I've been waiting every week, waiting for the call, crying myself to sleep, wondering if you actually still love me or not.
It is so embarrassing everyone thinks that, because everyone knows that's watched my show. I've battled mental health issues my whole life, and it's a situation where I come across as a hugely confident person, and it's always the real confident people that struggle with the demons behind the scenes. But I feel embarrassed asking people. Like, you get to the stage where I walk up to somebody and somebody goes, "Oh, you should get so-and-so on the show." And I walk up to talk to them or send them an email or send them a message. It's like, they wouldn't have watched me show. how do I explain this, and how do I do this, and how do I do that? So, yeah, it is hard to get people on because I'm so timid behind the scenes, but I should just grow up and grow some balls and do it or something.
Yeah, Nike it, bro. Just do it.
Yeah, Nike it. Just do it. All right. Paul wants to know, there's a YouTube question. What do you think influences people more to subscribe, quality content or the chance to win free shit?
Definitely quality content, because that is what people are there for initially, right? And then the free shit is just the bonus. It's the giveaways are a really, really good chance to try and give back to the guys that actually spend the time and watch the stuff that you do, which is great to be. And that's why we have such good sponsors that give us this stuff that we can give back to you. And I enjoy that. It does help with subscribers too. It's just a little bribe, like, hey, little sugar dusting. Like, you want some of this, bro? Subscribe to my channel. But definitely quality content. Like, you're not going to subscribe to someone if their content's shit, but you're like, oh, they might have a giveaway. Because at the end of the day, if their content's shit, you're not going to subscribe to their channel, so you're not going to know if they have a giveaway or not.
Yeah, that's 100% true, and I like that answer. Where was that one? Kyle, any tips for Brogo Dam? Well, because I went there and I managed to fish for 2 days and scrape up one tiny little bass. I have to say, lighten everything up. That water up there is generally so clear. It is like crystal clear. So look at making sure that you're running really, really light gear, and those fish spook really easy. That's the only tips I can give you for Brogo, mate. All right.
I don't even know where that dam is, so never heard of it in my life.
Yeah, Brogo's down there, Bega on the bottom end of New South Wales. Yeah,
Bees, some cheddar.
That's it. David wants you to put some sunnies on, give us his cousin impersonation.
Oi, I can. Oi, check it out. These are some dope ass sunnies I got here. Look, we can make it happen. We can make it happen here. Is that good?
There it is. The abominable snowman.
Holy shit! I actually look like a werewolf here.
Yeah, you could pass for what was that? Teen Wolf. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got to get Harry on because we're going to do the wheel here. So I'm just going to put you back in the green room for a minute, and we'll come back and answer any sort of late questions. Have you got a question there that you have sort of stood out that you thought was a great question for Harry's wheel, mate?
There's probably a couple. I'll go through and have a quick look now.
Go through and have a quick look now, and I'll bring Harry onto the screen while you're having a look. G'day, Harry. How you going, mate? Oh, what are you doing down there? There you go. You've got your Bluefin Fishing Team shirt on, I see.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to put you up all by yourself so you can still hear us, and you're sitting there. We've changed a few things because we've had some problems with Harry's wheel. Listen, mate, grab some of the what have we got on the wheel? Talk us through some of the sponsors while Keegan's picking a question.
I kind of forgot the list.
That's all right. I've got the list here, so let's have a look. So we've got Tech Angler on the board. They're giving away a 2-hour Lowrance tutoring session. We've got Wilson Fishing have got hats and stubby coolers. Bluefin Boats got a Bluefin Fishing Team shirt like the one you're wearing.
Yeah.
Yep. We've got Goldie's Maintenance is a gift voucher. Ray Broughton sent me a heap of the lures that are behind me here and on the wall. So there's lure packs from RTB. We've got Cod Dog Lures has sent in big cod surface lure and a brag mat. That's an awesome prize. Of course, Ricky Doyle from Jones Doyle Plumbing. There's a spin reel in that. Goldie's Adventures, we've got vouchers. Got 8 lures. We've got soft plastic. Central Victorian Lure Casters sent us bespoke lure pack. That's really cool. Duff rods. It's got a Cania Dam fishing hat. Tonics. You've got a tonic shirt, and Lawrence, you've got a hat as well. So there's plenty of hats on the wheel. Let's go. Keegs, how'd you go? Did you find a question?
Yeah, I reckon. Well, Bo
Everly.
Bo Everly has asked a few good questions, but Elion probably he's asked a couple of belters, and probably the three. What are your three choices of lure at Cania? I probably like so, but he's done a number, so I reckon Elion has got the best question.
Elion's got it. All right. Now, we know that he's on because he's asked 100 questions again tonight. Elion, you'd know the rules to Harry's wheel, mate. What you need to do is you have 2 minutes from now that we've called your name to actually tell Harry to spin the wheel. So while you're going through into the comments there, mate, there you go. Spin the wheel, Harry, straight up.
Okay, I think I should give it a spin. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Don't break anything out there. Who won?
And we got 8 fishing lures.
Got 8 fishing lures. There you go, Elion. You have a couple of packets of soft plastics from Got 8 Fishing Lures. They're made from Melbourne down here. I will post them up to you. Put your details through to me in as a personal message on my Facebook page, and we will send them up. So that's really cool, Harry. Thank you very much for your night. You got anything to say to Jesus?
I have your hair.
He likes your hair. There you go. All right, mate. You go to bed. I love the Venom hat.
Yes.
And thanks for the drink, and I'll talk to you later on.
Okay, bye.
There you go. He's straight onto it. We've got better lighting in your room. Did you turn a light on or something?
Nah, I think the camera's just tripping balls or something.
It's been dark and light and dark and light.
It's my holy presence is what does it.
Get your questions in as quickly as you can. We've got a little bit of time left. What have you seen?
Brett Castle. He we were talking about that before. Actually, Brett's got a good question.
Do you still have plans to get over to the US once the COVID situation settles down?
Yeah, 100%. So Corey actually asked me this the other day and just before. So yeah, I do. Everything's just seesawing at the moment. Like everything's just on knife edge. So the volatility of everything that's going on, no one knows if it's going to be another year or 2 years. Like it's the worst timing possible for me because I was kind of supposed to be over there like now. And then COVID happened. So 2018, at the end of 2018 was when I wanted to really start making the transition into finding out what I need to do to get over there so that 2019 I get the ball rolling and do the visa stuff and do all that. And 2020 this year was really when I had planned on just going over there. So while COVID has definitely punched me in the balls on that, it's still the plan, just waiting, ready to go.
Yeah, so basically for what people don't realise is, we all look at Carl, I say it all the time, the whole Fear My Heart stuff that Carl does and what he's done overseas, he's made a pathway for anyone else to follow now. So we've had Sylvester and we've had Matty Langford go over and be somewhat successful. Carl's now an elite winner, but he's done all the groundwork for all of us for anyone in Australia that wants to go over there. But you got to realise how big the fishing is over there as well. So, it's all good to say, hey, look, I'm going to go over there and give it a crack. But even at the bottom end of the levels, you're still fishing against 200-300 other boats on the water. We complain when there's 40 boats on the water.
It's a massive thing. And money at the end of the day is probably the biggest setback. Which is why it's important to have sponsors, especially with international sponsors like Costa and like TT, Akuma, like all that sort of stuff, and Carl as well. Carl, we talk, and he gets behind me too. But those international sponsors in Australia are good, but in America they're going to be better because that's when you start getting funded by them.
Yeah.
But like you said, you know, you got people like Carl that are making waves over there and making that dream a little bit more in reach mentally that you can do it. And Matty Langford too, you know, like Matty Langford, I don't really talk about a whole lot of stuff a lot, but Matty Langford out of anyone in Australia is probably, and I don't think he knows this actually, but I've taken so much out of Langers' book. I think him as a person and him as a fisherman is probably my biggest, the person I look up to the most in this country, because he's just so talented. And I'd love to know what's going on in his head, because there would be snakes and ladders of absolutely bullshit nothing and some really good fishing techniques and everything in there too. Like but his work ethic is perfect. And that's what I've tried to take out of mine too. So he's always on pre-fish, the first one on the water and the last one off. You know, he'll go out when it's dark and come back when it's dark, and he'll be on lakes for 3 days like I am when he can get down there. And I really I'll just pencil stuff down. I go, oh, Langers is doing that, so I'm going to give that a crack. Like, if you want someone to really look up to, Langers is definitely someone that can do that.
Oh, 100%. And isn't it funny? Come from the same family, the same upbringing.
I don't know what's in the water out at like Toowoomba and out that way, like,
but that whole family, when you look at that family and look at what Chris George has done with his boxing career, you look at what Carl's done overseas, you look at what Matty's doing here in Australia. I mean, they just have the drive, the ability, but none of them are big-headed. No. You know, you look at all these tossers in Australian sport at the moment that are overseas representing Australia, and you go, man, I'm ashamed to be Australian at the moment with your tennis stars and that are carrying on like pork chops. You got Carl over there doing his stuff, but you go to a comp and anyone, I camp with Matty. So, you know, he's my best mate and we spend a lot of time together, but there's not a person he leaves hanging. You know, there'll be everyone will come over at some stage and have a gig on his boat to see what he's throwing, or, you know, come and stand beside him. But he gives everyone the time of the day. He never holds on to anything. You know, it's just a great family, to be truthful.
It's crazy. On top of that, I know Langers is a really good artist on the windows of your van from Glenwood.
Look, and that's what it's all about. It's about having fun. He's not so stuck up either that he won't, you know, and he takes it as good as he gives it. That's for sure. That is hence why he might have put that on my van, but that is why we do have the annual Matthew Langford fuck up award that you know, it sits on my counter here, and we do pay out on each other a lot, but it's all good. Paul's got a great one here. He says, do you think ABT should be sending an affiliate with Bass Nation to give an AOA a shot at the qualifying to fish in the States? So basically, should ABT be sending anyone to the States? I would think so, yes.
Definitely, yes. That's a contentious question that I know a lot of us talk about on the circuit. And I know when Langers and Coney were on last time, they said with AOY, the same with me, you know, being able to get AOY is such a personal achievement. I wish that ABT would reward it, because to me it shows that you not only are you're funding this whole competition that's happening because you're rocking up all the time, you're paying your tournament fees, you're doing all this, you're keeping the sport going, but it should be a rewarded thing, because anyone can win a tournament. You can win a tournament and then come last in every other one of the entire year. But to win AOY means that you are consistent over every state that you travel, every dam that you go to, you're the most consistent angler of the lot. And I think for all of us, or at least most of us, AOY is probably higher on the scale than winning a tournament. It is for me. I'd love to win a tournament, but I'd love AOY more just for my own personal thing.
Oh,
yeah,
I'd
love to go to America for that.
We have that discussion all the time, and AOY should be the one that goes there, the most consistent angler for that year. They're the guy that's in the most form. So, you know, that's 100%. Allion, I wasn't talking about Ash Barty either. She's probably one of the exceptions to the rule. I was talking more about the male tennis players in that sense. So that's all good. But, yeah, I think, you know, we're going to have to pretty much – nearly call it a night. We'll wait for some last questions. There's heaps of people still on watching. I can't say that, you know, I haven't covered everything. We don't forget the COD Masters in about 4 weeks' time. I think it's 2 weeks after the ABT Cania event. If you can get to the ABT event, get to it because it's going to be one hell of an event. Make sure that if you're not too lazy to like, subscribe, share, do all that sort of stuff to help everyone out because it does help everyone out. Anything else you want to cover tonight, mate?
That's pretty much everything, eh? It's been a good chat. Subscribe.
That was quick.
If you are on this chat and you're watching and you haven't subscribed to Keaghan Painter Fishing, do it. Just do it.
Do it. Just do it. Share the love.
Seriously, you just click subscribe. If you've already got a YouTube login or a Google account, you just click subscribe. Like it's one click. Really easy. But it helps me do what I do and bring out sick vids. That's
it. And we're all about that. Hey, there's a lot of comments earlier on about ZZ Top and heavy metal bands and whatnot. I love the fact that I think everyone has their own. Anyone that wants to be good at anything has to take their shit and just go, this is me. You do that. You rock that really well. You know, I'm the bald fat man. That's as easy as it has to be. You know, I think everyone needs to have their own little bit of individual fame. And, yeah, love it, mate. Listen, I'll talk to you off air. I've got to say goodbye to everyone else. Make sure, Allion, that you send through your details. Damien, send through for your postcode and let me know which one of the 3 shirts you want in a personal message to my Corey's Dam Fishing page. I'd like to thank my guest tonight for all his input and good luck at Cania, mate. If I'm not there, I want you to win it. If I'm there, you'll have to come second.
Yeah, where's Langers?
Yeah, Langers is just on the slide. He's gonna end up outside the top 10 for the first time in 5 years.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Corey. Thanks for the questions, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. If you're already a subscriber to my channel and you watch my stuff, thank you. I appreciate it so much. All the comments, all the likes, like it's awesome. And if you're not a subscriber but you are now, thank you. And if you're still not, Nike it. I'll see you.
Just do it. That's the one. Right, ladies and gents, we shall see you next week.